crazy mother.
This is the Minotaur gameplay video. If you haven't seen the deck, link up in the top right corner. Otherwise, let's get into the action.
We won the die roll, so we're going to be playing first, and I will keep this even though it doesn't have a turn 1 or 2 play. Because we are going to throw in our Canyon Slow, either one of them, because it'll interplay tapped, and then we're not going to do anything. We're going to pass. Opponent plays the Steam's Vents, and plays the card I least like right now. Fun times. Our turn, we are going to do the exact same thing. Play Canyon Slow and pass the turn. Opponent plays an Island, goes to combat, swings with Stupid Monkey Man. I don't have any response because I don't have a lightning bolt on me right now. Glinthorn, okay. Okay, our turn. We draw Smoldering Marsh, which doesn't really help us. And we need something that is going to deal with Monkey Face. So I think we just run out Glinthorn. Oh look, it's actual counterspell. Well, that's fun. Scalding Tarn goes to combat, does the stuff. This is gonna be a hard matchup for us, I'm not gonna lie. Mountain into this guy. See if our opponent once again has a counter spell. Doesn't. Cool. Alright. So he is going to do the thing to it. So we are going to Undying Malice. Search controller line blah 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 for cards with the same name. And exile them. Alright, well. We lose our Minotaur. Our opponent plays Ledger Shredder. Whenever a player casts their second spell each turn, Ledger Shredder conveys? And then he plays Mishra's Bauble. Conveys means they draw a card, then discard a card, then you get to put if you discarded a non-land card, put a 1/1 counter on it. Opponent cracks Mishra's Bauble, plays Murktide, and then it goes to our turn. So here's the big thing, I mean, like, opponent attacks our face here as well, so it makes our face hurt. But, like, I just don't think we can physically match up against one of the highest played decks in Modern right now. Not with this deck. This deck is a little bit more on the casual side. I just don't think we can actually deal with it. What we can do though, is we can, while he is tapped out, we can play this guy. I mean, we're literally dead. We're dead in the water here. We're gonna bolt the monkey because the monkey's really annoying. He gets a 1/1 counter on his Ledger Shredder. And then, and then he gets to place, well, we're gonna concede. Okay, so we're going to be taking these things out, basically their top end, and then we're going to be putting all of these things in, basically creature removal. Again, we are going to play first, and this is better. We can keep this. It doesn't have early game Minotaurs, but we do have Bolt, so we can get rid of the monkey straight away. No, we're going to play Mountain first. Because Smoldering Marsh, we can play Mountain Swamp, and then play Smoldering Marsh turn 3, and it comes in play untapped. So there's the monkey. We are going to Bolt that thing straight away. Used to be Bolt the Bird, and now it's Bolt the Monkey. And our opponent plays Mishra's Bubble. Drawing into a 2-mana Minotaur would be really good right now. Our opponent uses his Bubble, we don't. Let's run down the swamp, and we will pass it to our opponent's turn. Our opponent is playing Control, so we need to bait out stuff. So we are gonna bait him on this guy. Ideally, he's gonna counter it. Yeah, so there's our counter spell. So first bait done. Opponent plays Polluted Delta, and does he play anything? With 4 cards in hand, I'm assuming he has at least 1 more counter of some type. Okay, so now we can play more Smoldering Marshes. I think we're gonna run down Rage Blood Shaman. Because we're gonna try and bait out another counter of some sort. There's another Lily counterspell. And then next turn, we are likely going to Lost Legacy. So he is dashing the monkey out. Nothing we can do about that. Ouch. And he sees, Cliffstopper. That would have been an okay card. Might as well play Smoldering Marsh. And 4 cards in hand. One of them is the monkey. And he only has 1 mana open. So we are going to risk it by going Lost Legacy. And we'll see if we get burnt or not. Our opponent is doing Consider. Surveil 1, draw a card. So we could grab the monkey, but we have one in the graveyard. I think Murktide, it has to be Murktide. We also get a look at our opponent's hand, which he has Monkey, Spell Pierce, Counter target non-creature spell, which is not going to help him a whole lot. And counter target instant sorcery. I'm actually surprised he didn't... Oh, that's what he drew. He would have spell pierced otherwise. Okay, so Murktides are out of his hand, or out of his deck. And we know that he has a monkey that he's going to be hammering our face with. He drew a Scalding Tarn, dashing the monkey in. Ouch, my face. Undying Malice. Indifferent on that one right now. So now we are going to run down two things. The first one is going to be first Minotaur. We know he doesn't have a way of countering this. And then second Minotaur also doesn't have a way of countering this. And now we see how things play out. Our opponent cracks Fray Islet to draw a card. Oh, Unholy Heat. Deals 6 damage. Okay, well, that's fine. Literation. So our opponent's going to play Expressive Literation. And then he's going to play Consider. So that's Surveil 1, draw a card. And our opponent is tapped out. So I think we just run down Nehib the Worthy. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm calling him Nehib, but I don't think that's actually correct. And then we start slinging. We start playing the go to combat game. And they have, by the way, if you notice, our Minotaurs are 4/3s and whatnot, because when you have one or fewer cards, things get bigger. Opponent drew into another land, played an island. Oh, he's playing Expressive Literation again. Lightning Bolt has entered the exile zone, so he can play Lightning Bolt. And where did he get the mana to play that? Oh, he cracked this thing. Okay. Okay, so he's gonna crack off Nehib, which is crappy for us, but it happens. And again, our opponent doesn't have any way of countering this, so we're gonna run him down. Should have done this after combat technically, but you know, it happens. Okay, swinging for 2. So technically we have lethal next turn. Okay, Ledger Shredder. Less fun, but our guys are bigger. Fury, on the other hand, is less great. So he's invoking it, doing 2 damage to any number of target creatures and or players, so he's probably gonna get rid of my Ragemonger. Oh, not my Ragemonger, my Rage Blood Shaman, I'd assume. Again, I do find it funny that we're playing, like, he's playing a crazy expensive deck. His deck is somewhere in the $1,200 to $1,500 range, and ours is $50. And we're currently giving him a run for his money. Lightning Bolt. Well, we're gonna go to attacks. We are bigger than he is. And now if he taps himself out for some silly reason, we can play Lightning Bolt. Doesn't tap himself out there. Bauble. Cracks Bauble. Doesn't go to combat. Let's see if he's drawn into a counter spell yet. He has not. Okay, well, let's go to combat then. We will do the discard because he can't get around it. So we draw a new card, plus we do our opponent 1 damage. Okay, our opponent scoops that one. Whew. Okay, so we're gonna be putting back in the Lightning Bolt and the Tome Rod's Crypts. I realized that Murktide has Delve, so getting rid of his graveyard might actually be not a bad thing. And then, you know, taking out Terminates and his Undying Malice. So this opening hand is playable. I do like Unearth, especially because we're assuming he's gonna kill something and counter it, so turn 3 hopefully we'll grab something back. We will keep it. Opponent, Scalding Tarn, pass. Oh, Beaumont Courier. I did not expect that. Yeah, well, we'll go Mountain Courier, see if our opponent has something to say about it. Our opponent does not. Let's go to combat, swing for 1. 1 to our opponent's face, and we exile a card. Spire Bluff Canal. Ledger Shredder. Interesting. Well, that means we're not swinging with Beaumont Courier anymore. But it does mean we get to play one of these guys right away. So we'll play the Mountain. I think we play Cliff Stomper, because Cliff Stomper will get bigger and be able to take out Ledger Shredder faster. By take out, I mean like when we attack in and he blocks. Okay, our opponent is tapping themselves out, which means we will get our Rage Blood Shaman next turn. He's doing 2 damage to Beaumont Courier. Sure. Opponent's swinging for 1. Ouch, my face. So Smoldering Marsh, because it enters untapped. And then we run out the Shaman for... I mean, theoretically, I could also grab Beaumont Courier with Unearth, but I don't think it made sense. Okay, 1 to our opponent's face, and go to their turn. Opponent cracking Misty Rainforest, getting an island. Playing Fury. So he's using it to get rid of our Blood Rage Shaman, and he's dashing the monkey out. I'm gonna swing for 4, I guess. Our opponent does have 3 mana. We know he has a monkey in hand, so we're gonna play this guy first. We then see if our opponent has a response to us swinging in for 4. Because if he plays something, then that means we're free to play Unearth. Dress down. Enters the battlefield, draw a card. Creatures lose all abilities at the beginning of end step, sacrifice, dress down. That means that our opponent was baited into playing something, and we get to play 2 things in a row. For starters, we get to play Burning Fist, and then we get to cast Unearth for our Rage Blood Shaman. And now our opponent just has a little bit more to deal with. I am a little bit worried about a Murktide at this point. He has enough stuff in hand, he's filtered enough cards. Also, this thing's getting annoyingly big. Another Ledger Shredder. And we know the last card he has in hand is the Monkey right now. So our opponent has nothing right now. And our opponent swings in for 3. Okay. And our opponent plays the Monkey. Just for straights. That is not one of the cards I wanted to draw. We will play the Mountain though. I think we just attack with everything. Opponent cracking Mishra's Bubble in response. We're at what, 6, 7, 8. We pitch this Smoldering Marsh, get an extra 2 damage in, and then we're going to play this guy afterwards. Opponent goes down to 4. We play the other Burning Fist. Ship it to our opponent's turn and we'll see. Opponent plays Consider, digging for an answer. A Murktide would be a really scary answer right now. Opponent desperately digging. Expressive Literation. 3 mana up, 1 card in hand. And he found the Monkey. 2 mana is enough to play Murktide. There's Murktide. Question is, can we still push out 4 damage? And we're gonna see. We're gonna see how it goes, right? Our final hurrah. So everything has trample. So that is a big thing that he needs to keep in mind. So he's blocking the 6/5. I don't think this does it. I think we're still short. Down to 1 life. So close, yet so far. And our opponent gets us because he has 12 damage all in the air. It was close. It was a close game. This is a crazy hard matchup, and I'm impressed with how close I actually got. Got him down to 1. If I would have had another card in hand, or if I'd have drawn something different, would have been a different story. Okay, well, let's go to the next game. We won the die roll, so let's play first. And it's keepable. Begrudgingly keepable. We will play Kenyon first. Tapped. Opponent's turn. Island. Elixir of Immortality. I think we're playing against a combo deck. Well, as much as I would love to play Cliff Stomper, Burning Fist is the better option here. Run him down, pass it to our opponent's turn. Opponent plays land, passes to us. I think we go Glinthorn and see if our opponent has a counterspell. Smells like a counterspell. Swinging for our 2 damage. Ancestral Vision enters the exile zone. I was kind of hoping for another land, to be honest, but we didn't get one. So we will play the Burning Fist. Opponent does not have a response. We will then cast Unearth, targeting our Glinthorn. Attack with everything, see what they do. Opponent takes the damage. And then they play Impulse. Opponent's turn, they're playing Serum Visions. Okay, play Canyon, even though it comes into play tapped. We are going to try and play Rage Blood Shaman because it would be 9 damage. It may not work, he may just counter it, or Remand. Remand is a card as well. And then we are just going to attack. We are aiming to swing with lethal next turn. Teleria West, interesting. Again, combo piece. And we are just going to go to combat. And then we are going to pitch 2 cards. What do we pitch? Pitch this guy. So he's going to gain his 5 life now. So we will pitch yet another card. Cliff Stomper. And we go to sideboard. Opponent scoops it. Okay, so we are taking out these things and we're putting in these things. Mostly just getting rid of artifacts. Opening hand is not optimal. Actually, arguably bad. We're gonna mulligan. This is better. We will keep this. And we're gonna throw back the only non-Minotaur we have in our deck. And we'll keep the rest. Opponent plays land, passes to us. We don't have any lands that come into play untapped, so we're just gonna play a tapped land and then throw it to our opponent's turn. Opponent plays an island, passes it back to us. We are playing the no givesies backsies game. Bowmat Courier into play. See if our opponent counters it. They don't. Interesting. Swing for combat then. Slow 1 damage at a time. And he bolts it straight off the hop. I mean, a lot of people look at Bowmat and they're like, oh, it's scary. It's gonna give him a whole bunch of hand stuff. But in reality, we don't really care that much. As foretold, at the beginning of your upkeep, put a time counter on as foretold. Once each turn, you may pay 0 rather than the mana cost of a spell with converted mana cost X, where X is yada 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 yada. So that means stuff like Ancestral Vision he can play for free. If we draw into a land, we don't, so it has to be Burning Fist. Pass to our opponent's turn. We need land. Opponent throws as foretold counter on. Does he play anything? Nope. Passes to us. Remember that time we had land? No, neither do I, because we don't have any. Alright, we'll swing for 2. Play another Burning Fist. And pass it to our opponent's turn. Well, he's going to remand it. It's a thing. Alright, so he played... So we just get to skip our turn. Our opponent's turn. His as foretold is at 3. Plays an Narset. And he reveals a Serum Vision, which he plays immediately. And there is Elixir of Immortality. And our turn. Finally, stuff untaps. We get a turn now. Check it out, it's a mountain. What do we play with said mountain? I think we are going to attempt to, once again, run down Burning Fist. So we straight up counter spells, which is fine, because we're going to Bowmat Courier. So we are attacking Narset, and then we are attacking our opponent. I almost think I should have both attacked Narset, but I don't really care about the card draw. Opponent gaining life immediately, and shuffling his library or his graveyard into his deck. Time Warp. Target player takes... Oh, this is the turns deck. You guys have probably already mentioned that. That's what it is. It is the turns deck. Alright, well, let's see if our opponent can play infinite turns and find his win con. Opponent plays Granted. So he may reveal a non-creature card from outside the game and put it into your hand. Revealing Anger of the Gods. Takes his extra turn. He angers of the gods our creatures. I thought that exiled them as well. If a creature of the same way would die this turn, exile it instead. Why did they go to my graveyard? I don't know, but I get a turn. That shouldn't have worked that way. We're gonna run down 2 Cliff Stompers because if we get another turn, we're just gonna get a lot more damage in this way. They don't have haste, unfortunately. That would be awesome if they did, but you know, such is life. Fae of Wishes. So he's playing Granted now. Again, putting a card from outside the game into his hand. He's going to reveal that. I'm assuming it's his win con. Nexus of Fate. Take the next turn off this one. If a Nexus of Fate was put into the graveyard from anywhere, Nexus of Fate is shuffle into your library. There's another turn for him. Why would you play Savior of the Moment? Take the next turn off this one. Skip the unstap phase. Our opponent's next turn. This is they skip their untap phase. Nexus of Fate. Impulse. Jace. Yeah, that's a card that'll win the game. So he's basically lightning bolting all of our stuff away and returning stuff to our hands. Double lightning bolt. Whew. Spicy. We get a turn again. Unfortunately, we didn't draw into anything that has haste. I'm tempted to cycle this thing, but at the same time, there we go, counterspell. At the same time, I think we stay the course. So we just go like this, and then we run to our opponent's turn. Using Jace's plus ability, Serum Visions. Guy's looked at half his deck at this point. See if he can't look at the other half. Playing another win condition, Fae of Wishes, 1/4 flying, with a pay some, discard 2 cards, return it to your owner's hand. Oh, because he's gonna return it to his owner's hand because he's gonna try and get another card from his sideboard technically. Through the Breach. Well, I'm guaranteeing you he's gonna play an Emrakul. There we go. Yeah, that will do it. And let's go to the next game. By next game, let's go to the sideboard. Okie dokie, so we're taking out all of these things and we're putting in these things. Let's do it. We get to play first, so we're gonna mulligan. We will keep this, though. As much as I like Bloodchief's Thirst, we don't need it until like mid-game. Also, we have no way of playing it because we don't have any black. Ancestral Visions enters the exile zone. Our turn, we draw into another mountain, and we will run down Cliff Stomper. Opponent's turn. Always suspicious when I see 2 blue mana untapped. What would we prefer to have come into play? I think we play Rage Blood Shaman, hoping that he counters it. Because I actually would rather Glinthorn. Remand is similar. Obviously this guy can't attack. Well, he can attack, he's just not going to do damage. Opponent plays Impulse and plays a Teleria West. Our turn, I think we go with Glinthorn because we can attack immediately with it. If only I had an extra mana. Okay, so if we draw into a black, we're going to play Nahib. There's As Foretold. Not great, but we do have enchantment removal in the deck if we draw into black and it. Smoldering Marsh, our opponent is tapped out. So what is the, if you have one or fewer? So I can't play both of these guys. So I think we run down Rage Blood and we just go to our opponent's face for 9 damage. Oh, I could have done this. Why didn't I do this? This would have been better. Oh well, because I could have tossed one for his ability and put me down to 1. Our opponent's on a 1-turn clock, so I'm less worried. Opponent plays Serum Visions. Our turn. So, Smoldering Marsh. Do I have a way of killing my opponent this turn reliably? I think we just try and swing and see what happens. See if our opponent has some kind of response that is 4 mana. Cryptic Command. Yeah. So he's tapping all creatures and then drawing a card. That is an answer, but it just buys him 1 turn. Oh, he's got a Bolt Nahib. Alright. Transmuting Teleria West for what? Living End. That's a card. So, okay. I mean, we still have a lot of things we can draw into, but we're going to put our opponent down to 1. I mean, if I draw into a Lightning Bolt, technically, we'll see. We have lots of things. We have lots of things that can do 1 damage. Like Unearth. Unearth will do it. And we grab Glinthorn and see if our opponent scoops. Oh, counterspell with As Foretold. Oh, you sneaky little boy. Alright, let's go to combat. I totally forgot about As Foretold. That's my bad. We'll do 4. We'll go down to 1. Our opponent gets 1. And he gets to discard a card. So he's pitching Emrakul. Savior of the Moment. Opponent is taking an extra turn. His Ancestral Visions fires off. Another As Foretold. Gets to play Ancestral Visions for free. And we get a turn. Let's throw out the Bomat Courier. Because then he will need to deal with 2 things. This is where I would assume if he has a Cryptic Command in hand, he will play Cryptic Command. Because he will tap all my stuff down and counter Bomat. I'm assuming he has something because he hasn't scooped. So, it's my assumption. There's Cryptic. Okay, so he wants to... Okay, so I should have... Meh, that's fine. Our opponent gets another turn. He plays Time Warp, gets another turn. Plays another Time Warp, gets another turn. Serum Visions. Bolting our Nahib. Plays Narset. Serum Visions. A 3rd As Foretold. Oh my. He plays another... What is this guy? This is the one that... Creatures and lands your opponent control don't untap. Okay, well that's fine. Savior of the Moment. Elixir of Immortality, which is actually a pain in my ass, because it puts them up to 6 life. And I get a turn. And I draw into a mountain. Alright, well, let's let our opponent spin the wheel again, I guess. Our opponent's turn. What are they going to do? I'm just going to name random cards. Maybe we'll win on the clock. Who knows? Oh, I get another turn. Let's go to combat. Attacking our opponent. Oh, and he lightning bolts it. See what our opponent's got this time. Oh, he's going to remand it. Okay, we'll play it again. I have enough mana at this point. Opponent's turn. All of his As Foretolds do their thing. Serum Visions. His Ancestral Vision also came off the suspend. So he's refilling his hand quickly. Savior of the Moment. Take an extra turn. Skip your untap. And then he lightning bolts. Oh, I get a turn. Tormod's Crypt. Let's see if he'll let me play it. This seems like a card he can't let me play. Okay, yeah. Okay, opponent's turn again. Ah, search for Asganta. I haven't seen that in a while. I get a turn. Does our opponent counter it? Let's find out. Burning Fist. Hey, our opponent doesn't. Cool. Opponent's turn. Spin the wheel, opponent. Do your thing. They gotta do all their triggers, burning their clock away. So he puts Time Warp into the revealed card zone, plays Time Warp, plays Lightning Bolt. I once again have no lethal on board. Ancestral Visions enter the reveal card zone. Impulse. At this point, he has to have his Emrakul in hand, which means if he gets another turn, he's going to just play Emrakul on as foretold. Nexus of Fate. So there's Emrakul and Jace. That's fun. The opponent has 40 seconds on the clock. Can they kill me in 40 seconds? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Winning on the clock is still winning, by the way. I play my land and pass it to my opponent. 20 seconds, buddy. Oh, our opponent's gonna make it on the wire. Oh, so lucky. It's a draw! Because our opponent ran out of time and I ran out of life. So yeah, we'll call it a draw. I'll take a draw. Who knows? Okay, on to the next game. Our opponent is on the play. We are on the draw. I will keep this, even though it's a really, really weird opening hand, because we were on the draw. Oh, Valakut. Oh, man. Okay, well, we're going to see how this game plays out. I guess Mountain. Pass it to our opponent's turn. Opponent plays a Wooded Foothills, cracks it for a Stomping Ground. And then plays a Sakura Tribelder. Well, let's run down our Cliff Stomper. I think our Unearth is going to be much useful in this game. What is not super useful is the fact we've drawn into 2 lands when we already had a 4-land hand. Opponent cracks Sakura, gets a snow-covered forest, and we pass turn. Search for Tomorrow. So he's just playing it for its straight cost rather than suspending it. And playing another Sakura Tribelder. Neat. Redraw into another Lightning Bolt. Not something I would expect to see, but, you know, there it is. We're going to run down Smoldering Marsh. Blast Zone. Less exciting. Rage Blood Shaman, definitely a card we want to see. We get to play the aggro deck now, playing Rage Blood, and then we get to swing in. So his Sakura Tribelder doesn't do anything anymore, because ideally he would keep it up and he would block, and then he wouldn't take the damage. But now he's going to take the damage because it's trample. So here's the question: can I kill our opponent before he fires off all of his stuff? That is the real question. Keeping in mind that I do have 6 damage in hand with 2 lightning bolts. Ship it to our opponent's turn once he decides what he's doing, assuming he's taking the damage. He did take the damage. Adding another counter to Blast Zone, I'm assuming he's going to crack it next turn. Okay, Undying Malice is fun. So we're going to play the Mountain. We're going to go to combat, and we are going to scam our opponent when he blows up his Blast Zone. So here our opponent goes. In response, we give our creature a happy little when this creature dies, return to the battlefield tapped under its opponent's control with a 1/1 counter on it. Whoopsies. That's fun. You can still take your 2 damage. I bet he feels scammed right now. Okay, Dryad of the Elysian Grove. Okay. See what our opponent decides he wants to do with that. That means he can play an extra land each turn. 1 extra land? So he's going to use this to really blow stuff up. So now he's going to play a bunch of extra lands with this guy. So I actually need to... So he's doing 2 damage here, but what I need to do, I actually need to blow this thing up. Because Valakut is going to fire twice now, or a lot more I should say, when he plays anything, so we have to get rid of it. He's also going to blow this guy up, which then we're going to unearth next turn. He doesn't have haste, but, you know, he has something. Oh, that's fun, because it's no longer in play, it doesn't count as a mountain entering play. Ha 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 ha! Look at me, I'm apparently smarter than I thought. I thought it would trigger no matter what, but because at the time that it entered and those triggered, as they resolved, it's not a thing, so it doesn't do anything. Let's play Bomat Courier and swing for lethal, see if our opponent has a response. So you do not. Okay, doke, we're putting in these things here, we're taking out these things here. And we cannot keep this hand. We can keep this one, though. And we don't want to keep Mog, Fanatigus, Fanagablock. So we are going to do that. Opponent playing first. And we are going to go to our turn. We draw, hopefully into a land. No land. Poop poop. Okay, well. Play so. Go. Search for Tomorrow. Had Suspend on it. That's what our opponent played, by the way. Sakura Tribe Elder. Smoldering Marsh. These would be great if I had 2 or more basic lands. Begin combat, get our Bomat Courier trigger off. He's obviously going to block and sack. There's the blocking. Here comes the sacrificing. Second main phase, I run down a tapped land. Search for Tomorrow fires off. He's going to play it. Search his library for a basic land, put it into play. That land will be a mountain. He then plays the Dryad that we want to get rid of. So that's frustrating and extremely dangerous. Yeah, there's a blast zone. That's fun. And a Ren and 6. That is going to be difficult. And he now is firing off Valakut because he now has enough mountains because of this guy. So bye-bye, Bomat Courier. I think we just didn't have an aggressive enough start, and I think our opponent had a really good start. So I think we're going to lose this one based on that. Okay, well, what are we playing with here? We don't have a lot of mountains, so Cliff Stomper doesn't really make sense. Burning Fist is probably a better call. Ship it to our opponent's turn. Realistically, if they play a land, they get to blow this guy up. And they would need to play 2 lands to blow up this guy. But they can also play 2 lands a turn. And they can also fetch 2 lands a turn with this guy. So I don't see how we win this, but we'll see. We'll see. Time will tell. Or they just play a prime time. Hey, we're scooping it. We're not going to win against that. Okay, go to sideboard. Okay, we're going to throw in some more creature removal and take out a bunch of the other stuff that is not something we need. Oh, I'm at 61. I have to get rid of something else. Let's get rid of 1 Undying Malice. And we will keep this opening hand because it has all the stuff we want. Mostly feed the swarm. This card allows us to blow up an enchantment, by the way. And we blow up the Dryad with it. So, Mountain, Courier, go, combat, swing for 1. 1 to our opponent's face, they take it, we get a card underneath, yada 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 yada, and bazang. Stomping Grounds, and our turn. We will play a mountain, we will swing like this, and then we will play Cliff Stomper. Opponent plays Arid Mesa into a mountain. And then he plays Ren and 6, probably grabbing back the Arid Mesa. Oh no, he used the thing to deal 1 damage to blow up Bomat Courier. That's neat. Well then, we are going to take full advantage of that by blowing up Ren and 6 with a Lightning Bolt. We will then play Canyon Slow. Opponent plays a Stomping Ground. Are they going to play... I'm surprised they haven't added Sakura Tribal. That's like what I would expect them to be playing. Instead... now there's the Dryad. So we can play another land this turn. We are going to blow it up next turn, though. So there is a Dwarf Mine. That's fun. He gets a little 1/1 dwarf. Ah, that's cute. Cute little dwarfy dwarf. Okay. Ooh, Glinthorn. I also like Glinthorn. Alright, Smoldering Marsh. Feed the Storm. Getting rid of this guy. I will take 3 damage from that. Then we will swing for 4. Opponent decides to chump block. Oh, poor opponent. Losing your little dwarf token. Bye, Mr. Dwarf. Bloodstained Mire. And our opponent skips it back to us. Interesting. This is also very interesting. I think we go with the haste option. Again, we're keeping up Undying Malice in case he decides he can kill something. Go to combat. Swinging with everything. All creatures attack. Does our opponent have a response? Looks like the answer is no. So he takes 6 damage. He's cracking Bloodstained Mire, helping us slowly drain that life. Gets another mountain. Cinderglade on his turn. And then prime time. So he's going to go get 2 lands. They are both Valakuts. They don't trigger yet. Swamp. We play Nahib. Go to combat. Let's see what our opponent decides he wants to do. Who does he want to try and block? So he blocks here. We scam our opponent. Why did I do that? I forgot the guy's up first strike. So I literally just wasted a card for no reason. I should have pitched the card to Glinthorn, is what I should have done. Pinged our opponent for 1 and drawn a new card. That's what I should have done. Wow. Misplay. Wish you may play a card you own from outside the game this turn. Okay, I don't like that. Scape Shift. Sacrifice any number of lands, search your library for that many lands, put them into play. We're gonna find out. I don't know if that's enough to kill me, but it's definitely enough to really put some holes in me. So there's all the Valakut triggers, but I think it's all gonna go to my face, and I think it's enough. Yeah, that's 27 damage right there. Okay, well, that was game 3, I will say. So the deck itself is pretty fun. It's actually really fun to play, and the fact that I held my own and at least went 1-2 against 3 competitive decks in Modern, I feel pretty good. If you're playing this deck in a more of a casual setting, it would be stomping some faces, literally.
Anyways, if you're still watching the video at this point, please subscribe to the channel and join the Discord so you can be part of the conversation. And don't forget to game like a giant monster. Yeah, I'm gonna use the old school.